For me, the Desert Chorale represents artistic freedom. Because frankly, the singers are so talented. It gives me great freedom as an artist to imagine what we could do. How are we going to create something meaningful? How are we going to experiment? How are we going to push boundaries? Or how are we going to do things that are traditional, but do them in a unique way or a beautiful way that's special to the Desert Chorale? The Desert Chorale's been around for 34 years. We're one of the longest standing professional vocal ensembles in the country, and we're well established here in New Mexico.
First of all, we've had for many years, no less than we've ever had, a wonderful artistic product, but it's one that's really known primarily in Santa Fe and to some parts of northern New Mexico. But I think the tipping point is in two ways. One is we'd like to involve ourselves much more deeply in the Santa Fe area, for which we're doing a good deal in terms of new collaborations, new partnerships, reaching out to new audiences, and in many ways trying to become a greater presence here.
Community engagement has really taken off, and one of our goals is to continue to be a responsible contributor to the well-being of the community, and we're really talking about the entire community.
You know, one hand helps the other hand, and you never know when you're going to help somebody or who sees you doing something. You're doing it because you know that's the right thing, that makes you feel good, and that's the right thing to do to help your fellow man.
The fact that I am Native American does actually influence how I feel around Santa Fe. It's very obvious in the art, in the artisans that are around, in the architecture. Just looking at the sky even, you can feel the spiritual nature of Mother Earth and Father Sky.
The Santa Fe Desert Chorale is one of the finest choral organizations in the country. They've been on my dream list for many years now, and so when I got a phone call from Josh to write a new piece, I was just thrilled. This is an ensemble that has a lot of respect around the world, and so to be able to write a piece for them, to be associated with them, and really to know that they value the art that I create is really meaningful.
The community that is Desert Chorale and the Santa Fe community at large, everyone from the volunteers, the patrons, the hosts, the donors, the board, the staff, you can't do without one of those pieces. Otherwise, we couldn't go forward as an organization.
Part of our responsibility is to recruit talented young professionals. They could be focused on arts administration, working with artists, expanding the choral repertoire, archive, library work. They could be interested in fundraising, marketing, helping us get the word out, helping us fund the projects that we're doing. These are all incredibly valuable and important aspects of putting on a concert.
You guys treat me with that respect and motivate me to become better and keep striving to improve how I work on the process, and I've enjoyed every second.
The second thing we're doing is to move out of the Santa Fe area, also in parallel, to try to develop our audiences and develop appreciation for who we are and what we do in other cities.
Part of that effort is a tour and recording that's coming up in 2017 in the fall, where we'll be traveling to North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area, to do some performances there as invited guests, and then also to be doing some recording.
We're in the town of Santa Fe with 750 nonprofits, more per capita than any place else. So of course, short term, we're always looking for financial support.
Choral music right now is thriving worldwide, but especially in our country. A figure that I love to quote is that there are 43 million Americans participating in choral music. The basic idea is there's a human impulse. There's a basic human impulse to belong to something bigger than yourself. And I think choral music fills that need for so many people.
Even with young new singers, they immediately get it. They say, there's a lot of love happening here. And what's music about except the love of it and expressing that?
Nothing touches the soul like music. What the ensemble does is really communicate something very deep about who we are as human beings.
you really feel walls coming down. And whether they're internal walls between yourself and your emotions, between yourself and the other singers, between ourselves and the audiences, barriers and walls start coming down because we're opening ourselves up. And my relationships here and with the people who come to work with the Desert Chorale, who come to hear the Desert Chorale, the time we spend here, it carries me through the rest of the year. And I hope to be able to do it as long as I can.